Good evening. Thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News at 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Amanda Rowley. Mark is off tonight. So let's get started. Tonight, Spokane Public Schools discussed its campus safety. Just last week, the Spokane Police Chief sent a letter to the superintendent claiming a pattern of assaults and threats not being reported to police. Our Kyle Simchuk was at the SPS meeting tonight and shares how parents feel about the claims. Kyle?
Well, parents were really divided tonight. Some sided with the district, saying schools are handling things just fine, while other parents believe schools are in a safety and security crisis and need to involve law enforcement more often. During tonight's meeting, officials shared data showing the amount of school suspensions and expulsions going back to 2014. Those have declined over the years, and obviously 2020 is an outlier since students were learning from home. The district also shared results of a student survey taken this fall. One question asked them to rank how safe they felt in schools from 1 to 5. The average score in elementary schools was 3.8. Middle and high school students said 3.7. Board members say mediation and diversion strategies have been effective in improving school safety. Some parents agree. Others say the data doesn't show what's actually happening.
We have the means and we have the ability to make sure that every child succeeds. They're not criminals. They have behavioral issues. We need to have behavioral specialists address the issues.
The FBI doesn't show up unless there's something to look at. These are truths. I just hope that there's some transparency and willingness to cooperate if they have questions.
A school spokesperson told us teachers should feel safe to call 911 if they or students are assaulted. However, an amendment to district policy signed by Superintendent Adam Swinyard March 9th says law enforcement should be used as the absolute last resort and only for incidents where police are necessary to address a serious threat to school safety. That includes sex crimes, robbery, first-degree assault, possession of deadly weapons, suicide, and homicide. So Spokane Police and the FBI are still investigating these claims. Reporting in the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Also during tonight's meeting, the district discussed new options for its busing system. The district is still dealing with driver shortages and bus route delays. To address this, one option the school board is now seriously considering is to increase the size of walk zones. Now, this is the area around a school where a student would not be eligible to take the bus. These zones would potentially expand to 1.5 miles for middle and high schoolers, ultimately reducing the number of riders. Another strategy discussed would be to extend bus arrival times to allow more time for arrivals and pickups. And we're counting down the hours to when the Zags face Arkansas in the Sweet 16 tomorrow. Our Brenna Green and Travis Green share what Gonzaga had to say ahead of the matchup tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the Chase Center in San Francisco. Gonzaga preparing for their 7th straight Sweet 16.
Yeah, pretty incredible to think about. Now, the Bulldogs met with the media today ahead of their matchup with 4th-seeded Arkansas. And this may not be a huge surprise for those of you at home, but the Bulldogs are heavy favorites to advance to the Elite Eight.
Just feel great about being able to do this seven times in a row. We're not just taking that for granted, and we've definitely enjoyed every part of it.
Gonzaga back in the Sweet 16 yet again. The top-seeded Bulldogs set to face 4th-seeded Arkansas on Thursday, a game where the team from Spokane is a 9.5-point favorite, but they aren't seeing it that way.
They're a really good freaking team. They have a nice combination of just athleticism, length, and then they have a stretch 5 who's good as well. So it's going to be a big challenge, and they're a really good team. And I don't think they're being disrespected. I think they're a really good team, at least in our eyes.
Head coach Eric Musselman is using the underdog theme to his team's advantage, making sure they know the outside world isn't giving them a chance.
You know, when we do a film session, there's stuff spliced in on what people have said, 1,000%. I don't mind, conveying that. We understand the respect factor for us in this particular game is kind of non-existent from a national perspective. So yeah, our guys are going to see it, hear it, all the way up until tip-off.
The Razorbacks are a team that can lock down their opponent, giving up under 60 points a game this season, led by senior guard J.D. Note, who is averaging over 18 points a game and is 14th in the country in steals with 2.3 per game.
Handful, man, a handful. So good in transition. I mean, he can pull the three on you, or he can lift, fake, and drive and get a crease and get downhill. Great at getting to the line. So a handful. Those guys are hard, and he's on quite a roll. So we'll have to guard him as a group.
Stopping Noche will be key for the Zags, and for Arkansas and Musselman's eyes, their transition defense has to be near perfect to keep up.
It can't be pretty good. It better be great, or we have no chance.
And he knows this from watching the WCC throughout the year.
Weirdly enough, I went to San Diego, which is in the same conference, and so I watch this conference whenever I can. And if they're ever on TV, it's always Gonzaga. It's not San Diego, Santa Clara, I promise you that.
You know, Brent, I was a little caught off guard when Eric Musselman said that he follows the West Coast Conference so closely, so he's pretty familiar with his Gonzaga team.
Yeah, I think he just loves West Coast basketball in general. He coached the Kings and the Warriors in the NBA. He coached Nevada a few years ago, so maybe it just brings him a little slice of home watching teams on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Now, keep watching us because we have more in our show. Later on, we're going to be catching up with all the Zag dads, the dads of the Gonzaga players. They went a bit viral over the weekend, and we had some fun with it.
That's right, the Zags, they got dads. But for now, reporting in San Francisco, I'm Travis Green. She's Brenna Green, KREM 2 Sports.
Well, and the Washington State men's basketball team was in action tonight in the NIT quarterfinals for the first time in 11 years. Our Andrew Quinn joins us now to break down how the Cougs did tonight. Hey, Andrew.
Hey there, Amanda. This was a tough matchup on paper for the Cougs as they were tasked with trying to slow down Alex Barcelo and the BYU offense in a hostile environment in Provo tonight. But the Cougs received a stellar performance from their senior point guard and defeated BYU 77-58 to advance to the NIT semifinals. The story of tonight's game was Michael Flowers. This guy was a one-man wrecking crew tonight. Flowers had 27 points on the night and broke Klay Thompson's record for most three-pointers in a season in WSU history with this second half three to give him 99 on the season. BYU close to within 3 points at the 13:04 mark in this game, but WSU would go on a 14-2 run capped off by that three-pointer by who else? Michael Flowers. He finished with 4 threes on the night. Flowers and head coach Kyle Smith spoke post-game about the guard's record-breaking performance.
You know, it's an incredible accomplishment, but, you know, I'm obviously still trying to, you know, win this ring, you know, win the whole thing. But, you know, Klay Thompson, you know, that's an amazing shooter, one of the best shooters that the game has ever seen. And it's, you know, just nice to see my name next to his.
Proud of him. I mean, he's this guy works. He's a pro as far as his work ethic, coming in every day and getting better, his mindset. He's a complete growth mindset guy that he sees challenges. He strives to be the best he can be, and he's got a really strong will and strong belief.
WSU now advances to the NIT semifinals at Madison Square Garden. The Cougs will take on the Texas A&M Aggies on Tuesday night. That game will tip off at 6:30 p.m. and can be seen on ESPN2. A win Tuesday would secure the Cougs a berth to the NIT championship game for the first time in program history. And Amanda, there is no doubt the Cougs are playing their best basketball of the season right now, and they hope to continue this magical run in New York.
All right, thank you, Andrew, and go Cougs. Let's turn now to our weather center with Cody Proctor. After a cloudy couple of days, we saw the sun peek out again this afternoon, along with some warmer temperatures. So, Cody, is it going to be warm the rest of the week?
It depends. We're going to be warmer towards the weekend. Tomorrow we're actually looking at a slight cool down. That's part of that cold front that's been moving through this evening. Along with that cold front, also has been bringing some showers across our region. This is over the last 4 hours, and we even picked up a few lightning strikes across parts of our area. So zooming in a little bit closer so you can see that some of that popped up. Right now, currently when it comes to our Doppler radar, it looks like we are still picking up some of those lightning strikes right now. So we've got some of that convection. We are looking at that moving through the rest of our evening. Not for long. We eventually, by the time we get to about midnight, our weather models are expecting those to calm down. We are looking at some drier conditions. Could see some sunshine tomorrow, but as we head into tomorrow as well, too, slightly cooler temperatures. Today we saw temperatures reach up to about 59 degrees, and right now we're at 51. I'll throw it back to you, Amanda.
All right, thank you, Cody. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. We'll be back in just 90 seconds.
I know this may look like a classic rooftop chase scene, but it's an Nissan sales event ad.
Get 0.9% financing for up to 72 months on 14 models.
The action never ends, but these offers will.
Psst. Hey, want to go to a birthday party and maybe win $27,000? Then saddle up, Buttercup, and head to the Kootenai Casino in Bonners Ferry for our 27th anniversary. You can qualify all March long for a shot at winning a $27,000 spin. Midweek rooms are just $79 in the Kootenai Falls Lodge or $99 in our Riverview rooms. Both include breakfast for two. It's a party, so book your anniversary getaway by calling 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Alcoholism and drug addiction are very treatable with evidence-based therapies. Colonial Clinic, a Spokane outpatient treatment center, can start patients in treatment the same day they call. We've been solving addiction problems for individuals and their families for over 3 decades. Through closed group therapy, clients advance together with their common experiences toward a healthy lifestyle. We offer addiction treatment, mental health counseling, and now medication-assisted therapy for those who need it. Call for a free consultation. Colonial Clinic. Call today, start treatment tomorrow.
I know this may look like a classic rooftop chase scene, but it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get 0.9% financing for up to 72 months on 14 models.
The action never ends, but these offers will.
Welcome back. Now to Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Governor Brad Little today signed a near total ban on abortion into law today for the state of Idaho. Idaho now becomes the first state in the country to follow controversial abortion law out of Texas. The law bans abortions after approximately 6 weeks of pregnancy. Health experts say that is before most people even know they're pregnant. There is an exception in cases of rape or incest. However, women who seek an abortion in that situation have to file a police report and present it to the medical provider before an abortion. Now, the law also allows for doctors who perform the procedure after 6 weeks to be sued by family members or people with no relation to the pregnant person. And Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed 3 gun safety bills into law today. House Bill 1705 prohibits the homemade manufacture of so-called ghost guns without serial numbers. House Bill 1630 is legislation prohibiting firearms in public gatherings, including school board meetings, voting centers, and other offices related to the electoral process. Finally, State Bill 5078 goes into effect in July and makes it illegal to buy magazines that can hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. And tonight, SRHD confirms more than 1,200 people could be affected by an unauthorized data breach that happened last month. It confirms personal data may have been disclosed after this data breach. The department is implementing corrective actions to stop the current breach. Some information viewed could include first and last names, date of birth, treatment, test results, among other data points. For more information, visit our website at krem.com. And that was our Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000 and we'll send it right to your phone. Spokane will see thousands of tourists this weekend, and that means increased businesses at our hotels, restaurants, and consignment shops. KREM 2's Janelle Finch tells us more about how nearby businesses prepare for these peak moments.
For the first time in 2 years, the NCAA Women's Tournament is back in Spokane. Teams from across the country will be coming together to play in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 rounds of the tournament. Along with them are family and fans. Local businesses are looking forward to the extra revenue this weekend. Ohio State, Texas, Maryland, and Stanford University basketball teams will play in Spokane starting Friday. The Spokane Airport has signs up welcoming the teams and their fans.
We're very excited that our city is drawing in national competition and thrilled for our city because it means that we're providing the right kind of environment for the athletes.
Spokane has become a destination for all sport tournaments, which in turn stimulates the local economy. According to Visit Spokane's public relations manager, the city estimates this weekend's tournament will bring in over $4 million.
This money being infused into our local economy, we need it, especially after the last 2 years of not hosting anything. The visitors to these events, they eat in our restaurants, they're paying a sales tax every time they shop or buy something, they're staying in our hotels. And
restaurants like David's Pizza, just steps away from the arena, look forward to these events that bring in out-of-town visitors as well as more local diners. The kitchen manager says increased business equals an increased staff.
We're going to see probably double, in some cases, the normal number of staff that we would have on during these peak moments. Friday and Sunday in particular, we're going to be busy all day. There will be no lull. There will be no moment where things quiet down.
The Spokane Arena will also be the home to the first 2 rounds of the 2024 NCAA men's basketball tournament. People who buy tickets to the women's tournament games this weekend will be added to a priority waiting list to buy tickets for that event as well. You can purchase tickets for individual matchups or an all-weekend pass. Those tickets are now available on TicketWest.com. In Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.